Green. Okay, not the red, but the green. All right. Let me just start off by saying a little bit about why I'm here. I received a phone call from Alan probably about 3 weeks ago, and he asked me to introduce him. And obviously it was something that I would certainly do. So then he called me about 2 weeks later and said, no, you can't introduce me, someone else is going to introduce me. So then I got a call on Sunday, and Alan said, well, would you introduce me? And I said, okay, be happy to. So I said, what am I supposed to say? How much time do I have? So he said, well, he was going to be introducing someone, and he was just jotting down a few notes, so just jot down a couple things, and that's good. So I jotted down a few things. Didn't realize it was going to be a history lesson tonight with each individual. But when I leave here, I'll be going back home, so I should get home about 3 o'clock. And I have to get up at 5:30 to be at the airport at 7 to catch a plane. But I cannot think of anyone that I would do this for other than Alan. And I say that sincerely. When I think of Alan, and I'm going to be short, but when I think of Alan, I think of the good times that we've had over the years. And I know a lot of you have said a lot of things that we've done, a lot of things about Alan. But from being in the student government office where Alan was the parliamentarian, but there's some things you may not know about Alan. Alan was very good at writing. And Alan used to write most of my speeches for me when I was student government president. He also now sends me a lot of text messages and emails. And I don't understand half of those text messages and emails because of the codes that you use nowadays. But Alan has been a very loyal person. He really is. A great father. Whenever we talk, just about all the time, he's talking about his daughter and the relationship that he and his daughter have and the good times that they've had together. When we were back at Cheney, we used to go over to Alan's house. And I can tell you that looking at Alan's family was so important to me. I come from, I think, a very strong family with my parents. But they were also an extremely strong family with his brother, his sister, and they welcomed me. I felt like part of their family, and that meant so much to me. In addition to that, Alan is a very dedicated person, very loyal person. If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't like you, well, they don't like you
You're right about
at all. He is a person who is hilarious. Alan is funny. When you're talking to Alan, he makes you laugh. He makes you feel good. No matter how sad you are or how stressed you are, when you get off the phone after talking to Alan, you are laughing. You are just very happy. And I thank him for that, because a lot of times I'm stressed, but when I finish talking to him, things are good. Another thing that a lot of you may not know, is for me personally, when I look at the business that I'm in and the business that I've gone into, I look obviously and I give praise to my Father, Heavenly Father, obviously my wife and children, but also the person that I think about is Alan Richardson. And let me tell you why. I would not be where I am today in business if it were not for this man right here. And let me tell you why. I was not the reason there were so many good alphas on Cheney's campus. But probably the reason I pledged alpha was because of Alan and Carrie. After pledging alpha, I went to an alpha convention down in Washington, D.C. And that's where I met the people that got me into business from an alpha convention in Washington, D.C. So if it were not for him encouraging me to go to become an alpha, I would have never been in business or the business that I'm in today. Another thing I want to share with you that many of you may not know, but I know Carrie knows, because Carrie was with me and Alan one weekend when we went over to Lawnside, New Jersey. And I don't know if you know about Lawnside, New Jersey, but it's a fun place. It used to be a fun place to go to. And we were standing in, let's just say, a restaurant. It wasn't quite a restaurant, but we'll say a restaurant. And I looked over and I saw this young lady. And I said, boy, I would love to meet her. No more than 2 seconds after I said I'd like to meet her, Alan went across the restaurant, and probably 2 minutes later, he brought her back to meet me. So if it were not for Alan, I would not, and Carrie was there, but if it was not for Alan, I would not have met my wife, had my 4 children, and my 10 grandchildren. So Alan, you have played such an important part in my life that he doesn't even probably realize. And I say this very sincerely, that I truly admire him. I respect him. I love him as a brother. And I can say that other than God, my wife, my children, I would not be doing what I'm doing if it were not for Alan E. Richardson. So without further ado, Alan E.
All right.